Hello, I'm Shay, and welcome to my home practice. I'm really glad you decided to join me today. So, in our in person practice, if you also see me there, we have been working on a Psoas series. So, I thought that maybe it'd be nice to do a short little practice together focusing on the Psoas. If you're not familiar with the Psoas, it's probably because you've never had a major injury. A lot of people that have had hip replacements or just interesting things happen with this part of their body usually have had physical therapy at some point and have worked heavily on the psoas. So if that's not you, you probably kind of don't know what that muscle is. So we're going to get to play around with it today. First and foremost, the psoas is a pretty major core muscle, a pretty major hip muscle. It does a lot of things. It's kind of considered the core of the core, and as my teacher often says, it's the suspension cables of the body, more or less, right? Almost like the shock absorption system, keeping things really stable and secure from the base. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on all fours, tabletop pose. From tabletop pose, take a second, root your hands, root down through your knees and the tops of your toes, or if you'd rather, tuck those toes under, okay? So have a nice press away from the floor, a few times on your own, just to start to move through your breath a little slower. Cat-cows, back and forth. Spreading your shoulder blades and pulling them together, finding a little arch, finding a little roundness, right? In and out through the nose a few times. Noticing, little creaks and cracks as you start to warm up through the spine. Warm up through the sides, through the front, through the back. And if you'd like to warm up in a bit more of an organic fashion, please feel free to do whatever feels good in your practice. I am always just simply a guide to help us get where we're going. All right. Now, as you're ready, find a neutral spine. And a little bit more, feel the hips slightly tuck in towards your rib cage, almost like the front body is getting a little bit shorter, the back body gets a little bit longer. Try to maintain that, right? Root through your hands, root through your feet. And then as you extend that right leg out behind you and you lift that right heel up, I don't want anything to change, right? And those are your psoas muscles, kind of gluing things into place, right? Your internal shock absorption system. So even here, as that leg is extended back, notice if the hips have also pulled back. And can you cinch them up towards your rib cage and keep that solid even though you have a little bit more of a precarious situation? Keep breathing, right? Remember those cat-cows. And then maybe also extending that left arm overhead, okay? And taking a few breaths here just to stabilize, just to really feel how those psoas muscles connect the top and the lower half of the body together. It's a pretty major muscle system there. Take one more inhalation, extending arm and leg away. Now this time we're going to start to add a little movement. Exhale, pull knee in towards elbow. If that's hard, you might want to add a block underneath of your hand. Inhale, extend arm and leg away from you. Exhale, pull knee in towards elbow, round like cat. One more time, extend the arm and leg away. Exhale, this time set the hand, set the foot down. Child's pose, possibly rolling out the wrists, resetting through the breath. Nice, and then back through to tabletop. Keeping the hips tucked slightly in towards your rib cage. Try not to lose that even as you extend that left leg back. Right? And as that left leg is lifting, you're not shortening the low back. You're trying to keep all of that stuff the same. And then if you feel stable enough, right arm might reach by your ear. Right? And as the opposite arm and leg are working in opposite directions, can you still keep all of that mid body, that mid section of your body contained? That's your psoas. That's that major muscle group working to stabilize. Now let's add movement. Inhale, extend even further away. Try to keep that core connection. Exhale, knee in towards elbow. Round your back to make room. Again, inhale, extend arm and leg away from you. Try to keep that flat low back. Exhale, pull in and round. One more time. Inhale, reach away. Press down into what you're pressing into. And exhale, pull knee in towards that elbow. Really nice. Extend away through the in-breath. Press through that standing hand. And then exhale, hand and knee come back to the floor. Take a second, hips back. Arms might reach more forward. Child's pose to reset. Awesome. Now first, come back into tabletop, tuck your toes under, and take a moment to find a brief downward facing dog, to let the head and neck hang, to start to open up a little more through the stuff that was just working. Now in your downward facing dog, lift your hips a little higher, let your head and neck relax a bit more, and then take both of your heels a little over to the left side. And as you do that, you might even reach your right arm a little further away from you. And in that side bend, can you feel that psoas muscle starting to extend too on that right side? And then really slowly, inhaling heels back to center. Both heels over to the right. Left hand steps a little bit forward. Hips keep lifting, arms keep reaching, and breath keeps getting a bit longer. Come back through to center. Inhale, heels nice and high. Right foot will step forward between the hands and come into a crescent lunge. Hands will frame that front foot, back knee will stay lifted. And then a few times on your own, just start to mobilize through the hips and the legs by bending and re-straightening the front knee, bending and re-straightening the back knee. My breath continues to get a little longer. I'm just taking some time here to just feel good. Nice. The next time that front knee bends, keep that there and bring the back knee all the way to the floor. You might want to pad it up with a blanket or something a little softer, especially if you have knee issues. And then toes can be tucked or untucked. As I start to lift the chest, bringing my hands to that front knee, I want you to press more into that back knee and feel a little more upright from that action. Now remember what the psoas does. It supports, it stabilizes, it's those connecting cables. So as you're lifting, notice if the hips are kind of sagging back or tilting back behind you without you actually employing that. And see if you can lift those hips a little bit up towards your ribs again. And from that action, feeling a little more stable, feeling a little more secure because those psoas muscles and company are allowing things to be more stable from the base. Okay. Now from there, you might keep those hands on your front knee, or you might test the balance a bit more by reaching the arms overhead. You might even look up. But nothing else changes. Just like in those bird dogs we did before. As demand changes, as things get more interesting, don't allow what you were doing to just collapse. Okay? Stay for one more breath in where you are. And now we'll add the twist. That left hand will come to the floor. That right arm will reach toward the sky. And I'm turning away from that standing arm. I'm working through that back leg. And if you want to, you can also lift that back knee up to exaggerate the twist. Nice. One more inhalation. Exhaling, hands down first. Down dog first. And then option to stay there, to take a few breaths, to move through a flow if that interests you, or to decelerate and come into a child's pose once more. Wherever you are, just find your breath, feel your whole system, and just allow what you're doing to take your attention. What are they saying? It's okay. Okay. Now, as you're ready, once again, let's find ourselves on all fours into downward facing dog. As you press through your hands and you lift through your hips, feel the side body elongating. Feel the front of your hips pulling your hips higher, almost like you could shorten your thighs. Stay here, inhale, hang your head. Left foot will step forward between the hands, and then same work, right? Front shin stays vertical, back leg walks far enough back that you feel the stretch, and then a few times on your own, just bending and re-straightening the knees. Doesn't have to be anything major. It's just a moment to feel good in your body, Like, what are we doing if not feeling more at home in these bodies we live? This is why I come back to practice. I like feeling more myself. I like feeling supported in my body. Now, we'll take as much time here as you need, obviously, but eventually we'll meet with that back knee on the floor or on a blanket. Front knee is bent. Okay? Press into the floor, use your core, lift your chest. Hands come to the front knee first. Now notice, for a lot of us, especially if we're really tight and we are also a little weak in these psoas muscles, right? Sometimes the front of these hips are really tight, but they're also really weak, okay? So notice when you get into this lunge, if those hips are being thrown behind you, and if you can contain a little bit more by pressing that back knee down a bit more, slightly coming out of the lunge, so you can lift those hips, so you can contain the front of this, and as you possibly get deeper into it, the stretch that you're getting is because you're controlling it. You won't go too far if the stuff does its job. Okay? Now you might stay here, hands to knees, hands to heart, or possibly reaching them overhead, but just notice if you're compromising anywhere. And if you're just trying to go for broke and get it the most out of every single pose, notice when your ego takes over. You know, that's definitely for me an ego thing when I go too far. Slow your next breath in down. And as you exhale, we'll come into the twist. That right hand will find the floor on the inside of that front foot, and I twist towards that front knee, away from that standing hand. And as I do that, same thing, right? My hips are trying to lift, that back leg is trying to work. Arm reaches up, back thigh might even lift. Deeper, slower breath, engagement in the entire body. Stay for an inhalation. Exhale, hands will come down. Down dog first, right? Keep the hips nice and high so you can step back a little easier. And then from there, what you decide is up to you. If you want to kind of keep the same tone, I'd stay in down dog. If you want to up the demand, I would move through a flow. If you want a little bit less here, if you want to, like I said before, decelerate, child's pose, rest. I think sometimes we think our practice is to punish. It's not to punish, it's to feel more at home, right? In our bodies, in our minds, and ourselves. And when we learn how to actually use the stuff that does the stuff, I think things become more effective, things become more useful, okay? Now, come to all fours again. And like we did before, but this time we'll try it in plank pose. Unless plank pose is too much, right? Unless you can't sustain those things in plank, then you'll bring it back into that tabletop pose. Back knees to floor. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then one leg at a time, reach back behind you, right? And as you reach the legs back, try to keep those hips pulling up towards your rib cage. You're not lifting the hips high, you're not kind of arching the back. You're finding this nice neutral spine from top to bottom, okay? Now let's play. Press into those left toes. You might even bring them a little more towards the center of your mat, towards your right foot. And then right leg will lift, but notice if anything changes, right? Notice if you start to compromise. Try to lift, but keep that low back long. And then possibly left fingertips might reach forward, or left arm might reach by the ear for diagonal plank pose. Nothing changes. Stay for the breath. And then hands and feet down. First, down dog or child's pose, right? That was more of a demanding pose than the first round. Feel and breathe. And then come back into plank pose, right? Press through your hands, spread through your shoulders, hips are heavy, front ribs pull in. From there, right toes might step a little more towards the middle of your yoga mat. And then left leg, without anything changing, lifts. And I feel how that left leg is almost a direct extension from my left hip socket. Now from there, you might want to stay, or right hand might start to step forward or reach overhead without anything changing. And it might be a little wobbly. That's okay. It's a hard pose. Can you breathe? Can you just focus? And then set that stuff down. Down dog or child's pose. Okay, at least you didn't have to do that on camera. Slow your stuff down. Okay. Stay for a bigger breath here. Stay for an exhale out of your mouth. Hang your head. One of those. One more of those. Really big breath in. Expand in all directions, even into your back body. And then exhale, soften, release. Bend your knees and look forward towards the top of your yoga mat. And then either exhaling, stepping, or hopping, or walking to the top of your yoga mat and coming into a standing forward fold. You might even grab opposite elbows and sway a little right to left here. Nice. Bring your hands to your shins or floor or blocks. Lift halfway up, inhale. Refold, exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms away from your legs. Exhale, refold. Inhale, lift halfway up, engage your spine. Exhale, refold and soften your chest down. Inhale, use your legs to reach your arms, reach in both directions. Refold as you exhale. One more time. Lift halfway, inhale. Refold, exhale. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, refold, Uttanasana. Moving on. Half lift, inhale. Right foot, big step back. Right knee comes down. Inhale, crescent lunge, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist. Right hand to floor or right elbow across to opposite knee. Inhale, turn your chest away from the floor. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog first. Again, same options apply. Or inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale, halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next breath in, inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, rock forward into three-legged plank. Stay there. Inhale, left arm might raise and reach forward. Exhale, three-legged dog with a twist. Right leg up, right knee bends. Stay there. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Left knee comes down. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, step forward. Back foot meets the front. Half lift, inhale. Use your entire body. Create length. Exhale, refold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach the arms away from your legs. Refold, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Same thing, second side. Left foot back, exhale. Crescent lunge, inhale, back knee to floor, arms to sky. We add the twist, exhale. Left hand down or left elbow across to knee, hands together at heart. Inhale, turn your chest away from the floor. Exhale, hands down, clean it up, downward facing dog first. And again, stay or inhale, plank pose. Really clean. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. Exhale, three-legged plank. Inhale, send the right arm forward. Exhale, three-legged dog with a twist. Left knee up, left knee bends. Stay there. Inhale, scoop that underside waist in. Exhale, left foot steps to the top of the yoga mat. Back knee down. Inhale, stretch up, reach the arms. Exhale, twist. Right elbow across the knee. Stay there. Inhale. Exhale, untwist and step forward. Inhale, half lift. Refold, exhale. Inhale, big reach up, arms away from legs. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, crescent lunge. Inhale, find the reach, find the lift from the floor. Exhale, find your twist. Stay there, inhale. Exhale, undo it, downward facing dog. Stay there or flow. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga or floor. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, diagonal plank. Stay there, inhale. Exhale, down dog with the twist. Stay there, inhale. Right foot forward, exhale, warrior two. Spin the back heel to the floor. As you come into that warrior two, lift your front waist, work through that back leg, and feel the psoas connecting the top and bottom half of the body. Okay? Now, as you stay here, and I check on this camera here, keep breathing. And keep working through all directions. All right? The psoas supports us internally and in a deep way. Stay for one more inhalation where you are. As you exhale, interlace the hands behind you. Lift the chest, open it, stay here, inhale. And as you exhale, come into warrior two with the humble warrior arms. So as the arms reach overhead, let the head and neck soften and sway away from that front knee. Stay here, inhale, kick that right thigh a little further back. Exhale, undo it, hands to floor, down dog, or if you can slowly flow from this position, go ahead and do that. We'll all meet on the same page, meeting back in down dog. From our downward facing dog, left leg to sky. Exhale, three-legged plank. Diagonal plank on the breath in. Down dog with a twist on the breath out. Stay there, inhale. Scoop that bottom waist under. Exhale, left foot steps between your hands. Warrior two. Seal the back foot down. Bend the front knee. And as I create space from the floor, I'm using the center of my body to keep all of that sustained, suspended. My stable cables, if you will. Stay for one more breath. Deepen the bend in the front knee, but lift that front waist. Exhaling, hands frame that front foot. Again, you know your options to move back into downward facing dog. Be smart, be sensible, especially if you notice your breath is getting short or if you notice your attention span is waning, right? Like the practice is always coming back to our center, is always retaining that even coolness inside of us, okay? That is the practice. So from your downward facing dog, once again, inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale the right foot. You're going to step behind the left foot this time. Kind of sink the hips a little over to the left. Stay here. Inhale. And then exhale, normalize the hips and step that right foot between your hands. Bring the back knee to the floor. And then heel toe that front foot wide and come into a lizard lunge so that front foot is on the outside of the hands. Keep that front knee pulling wide. Start to walk both hands over to the left side of your yoga mat. When you stop, stop. And then bring that left elbow down. Okay? Now with the right hand, I'm going to start to create length on that right side in the side psoas. Right? So as the right fingertips walk away from me, I'm sinking back through that right waist, back through that outer right hip. Head and neck soften. Breath slows and deepens. And then hands come back underneath of your chest. The back foot will step to the front foot, mirror the front foot, and come into a malasana squat. Adjust the stance as needed. The heels might not come all the way to the floor, but I want you to slightly feel those elbows press those inner thighs away. And then as you do that, lift through your chest. Stay for a bigger, slower breath here. And as you exhale, lift the hips, turn the toes forward, come into a standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, sweep the arms away from your legs. Sorry, Mike. Exhale, Tadasana, release your arms down. Inhale, stretch your arms away from your legs. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Step the left foot back behind you. Crescent lunge. Inhale, reach the arms. Pull the hips up towards the ribs. Exhale, twist. Try to keep all of that activity. Stay in the twist. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, down dog, or chaturanga, up dog, down dog. From downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. Bring that left knee to the floor, please, and come into Anjaneyasana, reaching both arms up. Grab a hold of your left wrist, and as you exhale, take the side bend up and over to the right side. And as you do that, feel how that side bend almost feels like it's coming out of your left outer thigh, right? Up and over there, all the way from the base. Stay there, inhale. Exhale, twist. Stay in the twist, inhale. Exhale, untwist, downward facing dog, or flowing to down dog, reminding yourself that your practice can change, can adapt at any moment. You do not have to follow the same script at every point of your practice. Check in with yourself. Do what you need to. Don't go beyond your limits. Right? There's always another day to practice. Hopefully. From our downward facing dog, inhale, left leg to sky. Step the left foot forward between the hands for that low crescent lunge. Bring that back knee all the way down, please. And as you lift your chest, don't let the hips sink so far that the hips get thrown behind you, right? Feel that connection from the floor. Now from there, as the arms reach overhead, I'm going to grab a hold of my right wrist and bring it up and over to the left. And I want that side bend to feel like it's coming from the floor. It's coming from that right knee, coming all the way up and over through that side bend arc. Stay for one more inhalation. Use your exhale to come into your twist and keep both sides as long as you can. Stay, inhale, lengthen head from hips. Exhale, hands down, down dog, or chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Nice. Inhale, left leg to sky. Send that left foot outside of your left hand, coming into a lizard lunge. Settle up on that back knee and remember, pad it up if you know it bothers you to have it on the floor. And then from the front view, I kind of want you to see what I'm doing here, right? So that front foot is wide. And what happens when I start to walk myself away from that front knee, see what happens? It starts to cave in with me. And if that happens, I'm going to lose the stretch that I'm going for, okay? So I really want to feel how that front outer thigh kind of pulls itself wide, right? So as I'm walking away from it, I don't want to go too far because I'll lose that if it comes with me, okay? So as I'm kind of walking away from this, I'm going to bring my left forearm, walking away from that front knee. I'm going to bring that right forearm down and walk the left fingertips away from that left hip, turning my chest down, letting my head and neck soften. And what I'm really feeling here is just this really long length on that left side. A nice stretch in my hips. Soften and lengthen your breath and be attuned to what is going on right now. Learn to bring your attention to what you're doing as you're doing it. And then we start to crawl ourselves out of that. And we step forward into our Malasana squat. All right. Today is not the day I break crow down. But if it's in your practice and you want to work it in today, it's right there for you. Okay. Otherwise, those of us that are hanging out in Malasana squat will be there for a few breaths. Nice. And then we'll all meet in a standing forward fold, turning the heels a little wide, toes forward, swaying a little right to left here. Inhale, halfway lift. Refold, exhale. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach your arms away from your legs. And exhale, Tadasana. Release your arms by your sides. All right. Now, last little bit of standing stuff here just to round out our practice and continue to kind of work with our Psoas that we've been working with the whole practice. So starting from standing pose, bring your hands together at your heart. Pull your heart towards your thumbs and pull your shoulder blades together down your back. So you have this really nice, tall, lifted spine. Transfer weight into your left foot. Pull the right knee into your chest here. And then this might be enough for some of us. Some of us might start to extend that right leg forward. All right, feel the top of this right leg, lifting that leg higher. And almost feel how the right thigh could pull itself into that hip socket. Almost like you could shorten that hip. Keep those hips level. Keep your breath level. Nice. If you're shaking, you're doing the right thing. One more inhale, lift those toes higher. And then same leg, transition it behind you. So bend that right knee, start to lean forward without anything changing, right? I want to keep the hips pulling towards my ribs. Reach that right leg back behind you. So warrior 3, nothing really changes. Stay for a big breath in. Exhale, land the feet, stand upright. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, stand nice and tall, arms away from legs. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Transition weight in your right foot. Hips lift to ribs. Try not to sink. Left knee pulls into your chest, smushing that standing foot into the floor. Option A, we stay. Option B, we reach away. Okay? Everything stays exactly the same. One more in-breath here, shoulders back. And then we transition knee to chest, left leg, lifted leg, reaches behind us. And as the demand changes, the stuff that's going on in your spine tries not to change itself. It tries to stay with those suspension cables of our psoas. It tries to keep the same tone. Nice. And then we upright. We bring that foot to the floor. We reach both arms overhead, inhaling. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift your chest halfway. Refold, exhale. And then one more time. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sky. Get nice and tall. And exhale, Tadasana. Release your arms by your sides. Inhale, stretch up. Fold as you exhale. Lengthen halfway, inhale. And then both hands down, step one foot at a time back to downward facing dog. Nice, and then bring both knees to the floor. Take them a little wide, settle back into child's pose. Great. Hands will walk underneath of you. Bring the shins to a side. Settle back onto a seat. And then come all the way onto your back. Now from your back, set up for bridge, or if you have a little more range in your poses, you might come into Urdhva Dhanurasana or wheel pose. Okay. Now coming into bridge pose, pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, possibly rooting your shoulder blades a little closer together. Just starting to feel the front of your hips and psoas start to open. Eyes are soft. Breath is slow and contained. Body is working evenly. Stay for an inhale. And then exhale. Release. Hips back to floor. Let the knees cave in on each other for a moment. Just be neutral. Nice. Take the feet as wide as your yoga mat. So the inside edges of the feet are on the outside edges of your yoga mat. Arms can be reaching out to the sides. You can keep the elbows bent, or you can even reach the arms overhead. Let both knees windshield wiper over to the left of your yoga mat, just kind of falling to the left side. You might just stay here, just internally rotating the right leg, externally rotating the left. If you need a bit more, left ankle might come and cross on top of that right knee for a little more added stretch on that right side. Really here, I'm targeting those psoas muscles for length. We've been alternating a little bit in this practice of strength and length in our psoas. More or less strength than anything else, but at this point we're targeting a little bit more of the length equation. Exhale or two, just let out of your mouth. Hopefully this feels really good. That's the point of our practice, just feeling a little better in our bodies and our minds than we did before. You'll just undo that ankle to knee if you had it. Return knees to center first. Just note for a second before we do that second side. And just real easy, let those knees fall over to the right. You might just stay here, letting the weight of the body pulling you into this twist/side bend. Or right ankle might come on top of that left knee for a little more leverage. But just make it as passive as you can. Remember, the reason we do this stuff is to feel better in our bodies. And when those psoas muscles, which they commonly are tight and weak, we have to address those things to feel better in our bodies, to feel more supported in our bodies. Sorry, that was an alarm. That's exactly what you want right before you're about to come into Shavasana. So undo that. Let the knees come back to their own sides. And then you might stay here, just kind of letting the knees be bent, or you might reach the arms and legs long and wide for Shavasana. You might come to seated for a seated meditation. You're at home, you can add as many props, you can be in any position you like, or you can choose to skip it. Right? That is the choice that you have to make in your home practice. So from here, I leave you to decide what you need to do. If this is all the time you had in your practice, then you'll come to a seat with me. And like I said, if you have time, please rest. Let your body just kind of melt away the practice. Let your mind just be soft and aware of that rest. For those of you that are moving on, you'll bring your hands together at your heart or on top of your knees to settle and ground. You'll take one more inhalation where you are, just filling up in all directions. And exhale, let it go as you bow your chin towards your heart. Legitimately, thank you for taking time to slow down and to take care of yourself. I hope you feel good. I hope this helped. And if it did, keep coming back. I'll always be here for you, either online or in person. I'd love to see you again soon. Go in peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.